His and Her Show with Jody
and Alex Misiak, and today we're going to talk about skating, and not just skating, like how to skate, but skating as it relates to our personal experiences. My personal experiences, and like a lot of like stuff we've covered in other podcasts about like weaknesses being strengths, or belief systems, comfort zones, all that kind of stuff.
So this is a really great story and a really good share for Alex today, demonstrating really growing and breaking barriers and really like personal barriers and stuff.
Yeah,
this winter, which is really cool.
Yeah. So a bit of history about me and skating. When I was a kid, I don't know how many other people had a similar kind of experience. But the school I went to, I don't know how often they did it, whether it was once a year or twice a year or something like that. But they would be invited out to like.
I feel like we went every month in the
winter.
winter.
In the winter, maybe.
Yeah.
I can't recall. But the thing was, you come. The whole class is gonna go skating. So like bring your skates, and we'll spend like the afternoon or an hour or whatever. Can't remember, skating. So when I was a kid, I very much wanted to be good at everything. And skating was not one of those things. So after I don't know how many attempts, this was a long time ago, but after a few attempts and not succeeding, I had decided at a very young age that I was done with skating. Just not going to do it.
You said around 8.
Let's pick 8. Yeah, roughly. Sure. That's roughly. I was just like, I'm not going to do this anymore. Mom, Dad, can I, like, if they do the skating thing, can I just stay home? And they're like, sure, honey. You don't have to go. And that's fine. That's not blaming my parents on that. I had asked them. They weren't going to push it. And if they'd pushed, who's to know? Who knows what I would have done? Probably wouldn't have been happy about that. And it might be more miserable and hated skating even more. And then you forget about it. It goes in the background. It's not happening anymore. Eventually, as you go up, as we went up through the grades, that wasn't a thing anymore, right?
Can I fast forward to when I met you? Is
yes,
that okay?
Please. Yeah, let's skip ahead to where.
I met Alex. It was 10 years this year. And I was actually I had plans the weekend, meeting. I met you on a Wednesday, and I had skating plans on the weekend. And I remember when, because I always wanted to skate, once we started dating and things, that was a big thing for me. Skating and dating and, holding hands, and very romantic. It's always, shown in movies, and I just love it. And it's a fun way to pass the time, is chit-chatting. And I'd even skate with my friends and stuff. But when I met you and I said about skating, you were always like, no, I have weak knees. I can't skate.
I said weak knees.
Sorry, not weak knees, weak ankles.
I said weak ankles?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so that was your excuse when I met you. And then I kind of, you even went skating with my friends and I once, and, you just literally, shuffled around you shuffled on the ice with your boots. So for our whole, for 10 years knowing each other, we haven't skated together until this year. And even this year was a little tricky because we had our kids. So we can't just... Actually, we did skate around. Where were our kids? Oh, your parents were watching the kids.
Yes.
Right. We did go out. So anyways, for 10 years, though, we didn't skate.
Yeah. You just really pushed the issue.
I forgot. I let your excuse be your excuse.
Yes.
And I didn't force the issue until this year. Do you want to share what happened this year that made you want to try and skate?
Well, it's probably a number of things, but the big one was for me, the kids are growing up, and Anastasia's getting to the age where, her school is going to be going out for skating types of events. And I don't want to say there's a little bit of me and her, but and a lot of kids are like this, but if she doesn't get something, she gets very frustrated, and I don't want her to feel discouraged or upset. Or maybe she got that growing up with me around, and I've still got a bit of that in me. But I was like, no, I'm going to learn how to skate so that I can skate with my kids.
And you're being a wonderful role model for them.
Yeah. I wanted to be a better role model. It's not impossible to I don't want to, whatever your parenting technique is, but it's easy. Kids look to their parents as the models. So if you're not doing something, but you expect your kid to do something, that's a hard sell for a kid. Yep. Most kids are like, you're not doing it. Why do I have to do it? Like, why am I doing it? If they're doing something on their own accord that you're not doing, and hopefully that's great. And that's a good thing, of course, that they're doing, and you're fostering it and engendering it. Like I'm sure there's kids out there that can play the piano, even though their parents are all thumbs or whatever. But the point is, that's them. They're initiating that. If I want
to take the kids skating,
and I can't skate, that isn't going to work well, right? So I was like, no, this year is going to be the year that I'm going to get a pair of skates and I'm going to go skating. So I guess we could fast forward to the day that we actually went out skating.
Because first we got your skates, and it was a while ago.
We had
the weather. We wanted to do, go outside and do it.
Yeah,
if possible. There are arenas that do free skating too, but we have a beautiful rink in our uptown core, so it's just really fun skating outside if it's not freezing cold.
Yeah, and until you'd mentioned actually that like I had said that I had weak ankles, I'd forgotten about that excuse,
which is great.
I'd internalized it clearly and then forgotten about it.
I remember it,
but then it came back up because we got my parents to watch the kids, and we said, "Well, what are you going to do?" It's like, "Well, we're going to go skating." And then my mom said something along the lines of,
But you have weak
ankles. And that right there should have been the moment where I had gone, that's clearly an excuse that I was telling myself. Because when my mom said that, I'm like, where is that even coming from? And then you just brought it up now while we're talking about it. You're like, you told me, Alex, that when I wanted to go skating with you, you're like, no, I can't go skating with you, Jody, because I've got weak ankles. So here's this excuse, this complete falsehood that I clearly made up. Or perhaps it was true at one point, but it wasn't true at this point. Because when my mom said it, I'm like, where's that even coming from? I don't have weak ankles. Like, my ankles are fine.
Which is great because it proved this is just an example though. Like if you would have believed her, you would have had a different experience on the ice.
Very possible.
But
that's true,
you were like awesome on the ice. Like you didn't fall, and it looked like you've been skating before. You just were a little rusty. Like you had, maybe it was a year or two. Like for me, I wasn't on the ice either. I actually thought it was only 5 years, but I think it's like 7 or 8 years. It's been a while.
Yeah. Wow.
Probably the reason I didn't push you, because I haven't been skating either.
Yeah, so hopefully we can skate more and moving on. But there's a good example in my life where here's this myth story that's not true at all.
This is where it shows where beliefs really can run our lives, and it wasn't even your belief.
Yeah, or it was maybe at one point
that was
in time.
Your excuse?
That was the thing I said.
No, it was your mom, though, because she even says she doesn't skate because she has weak ankles, too.
Oh, so there we go. So this
is just an example of where we take on other people's beliefs, even though they're not our own.
Yeah.
Because no one can tell you that you have weak ankles, because they're not you.
Other than a doctor, I suppose. After some
testing. And even then, I don't believe doctors. Sorry.
I'm
so sorry.
That's true.
Do not believe them.
That's true, but that definitely there's this story that was perpetrated for years and years and years.
Like we had time in there that we totally could have busted that belief, but we didn't. Which obviously you can't go back now and be like, take back. Because we even said on the ice work, why didn't we do this sooner before kids?
Yeah,
because it would have been easier for us to have years of skating together before the kids came.
Yeah,
but we didn't, and that's just life, and you gotta pick up where we are, and that's cool. And I'm just so excited and proud of you for starting to skate this year.
Thank you. Yeah, it was fun. I want to do it.
It was a lot of fun. We'll have to get out before winter's done.
Yeah, it's only the end of March here, but that doesn't mean that necessarily winter's on its way out just yet. And there's always arenas.
Yes, for a little bit.
So for a little bit before hockey season kicks in to get high gear. But yeah.
What?
Hockey, little leagues, minor leagues. That's when a lot of the free skating goes away, because the ice is in use by the teams who are training and stuff. But
yeah, so this just was a fun example of you stepping out of your comfort zone. I was so happy to take some of those pictures of you on the ice and going around, and then even taking our kids on the ice,
That was the next thing. The next step after that. So after that success, we're like, okay, now we got to get the kids out on the ice.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, you won't trip. Or I won't worry so much about tripping. I was still I'm like, my balance isn't that great. So worst case scenario, I'll go out on my boots again. But I can skate, or at least I can get better at skating.
We even have a rink right by our house.
I don't have any of those things holding me back anymore. Any of these like beliefs or stories or whatever I was telling myself to not be out on the ice. I can get out on the ice now. So I can show my kids, hey, it's possible. If I can do it, that means you can do it too. So we all went out as a family and tried to go skating all together. That was a little more difficult because the kids are young. It was cold, and jamming a skate onto a kid's foot is not exactly at least our kids' idea of a good time. Now, once she got it on and she got out there, then she
we had a good time. We went around the ice.
She was, and taking turns.
Or we were in the middle.
And Jaden, because he's younger, he's not going to be balancing on the one blade, but we got him these things called bob skates, which are like two blades, almost like basically just like he's skating on two flat blades that are parallel to each other on the bottom of his boot. And we strap it to his boot, and he was just taking off. Like he loved it. So. And that's great. And that's the takeaway there was for me is, okay, so I stepped out of my comfort zone, which allowed me to, one, dispel a bunch of BS that had been holding me back subconsciously. Because again, I didn't remember that I used that excuse on you.
Well, we haven't even really brought up skating for like years. Like my poor skates were sitting down in the basement collecting dust.
Didn't think about it for a while. But like that's now gone. That's evaporated into mist. And now it's like, okay, now we can do another thing as a family. We can get out, we can have more fun at winter, which makes winter go by faster.
Mm-hmm. It's just more enjoyable, yes.
Yes, it's more enjoyable. And you show the kids a good time when they're young about doing a particular activity, and they're more likely to continue doing it as they grow older.
Here's the fun thing.
It's like the exact opposite of my childhood experience, where I had a bad experience, which then prevented me from doing it for many, many years.
Here's a fun thing, too, though. They can have hiccups. They might have times where they're not a big fan of skating. Because we, too, as growing up, I went to school in a very small town. And this was grade 7 and 8. And we had an arena in the town, like just down the street. So we'd all walk down there and go skating. Or it was even before then, because I think in grade 7 and 8, I think I could tie my own skates. But anyways, in elementary school, we also went skating. I could have used the excuse that I had weak ankles too, because I was flopping around and things were very loose, because I couldn't tie my skates tight enough. So luckily, like I could have had a horrible experience there that day. But I think there was a mom there that helped me tie my skates. So they can have moments, but we have to, it's about encouraging them to try again, even though the first time. Like, I'm reminded of, like, downhill skiing. And we've talked about, I've shared the story with you before, because I find it so fascinating on so many levels now that I'm an adult. So in grade, I think it was 7, we went to Blue Mountain here in Ontario, and it was my first time downhill skiing. We did cross-country skiing up at the cottage all the time. And we go down hills on the cross-country skis. So I was familiar with the coolness of going down, but I never had to do the lifts or anything going up the hill. Because we just, you walk up sideways or, have all that fun stuff. So I go and I had to start out on the bunny hill because I was new at it. So you have to, like, level up. Well, I loved going down the hill. Like, I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. I had a rush going down the hill. I absolutely loved it. I could see myself going down hills all day long until I had to go back up the hill. And again, it was a bunny hill, so it was like the T-bar. You just hold the bar and then you let go and you should be going forward. There was a patch of ice there that day and I was going backwards. This is why I'm sharing this, because it's all about encouragement. I let this one bad day not let me go downhill skiing again. So I actually got off and sat in the lounge for the rest of the day, eating food out of a vending machine. And even though I loved going down the hill, all because of a stupid patch of ice. So the next year, I had very awesome parents like you that said, yeah, because I was like, I don't want to go. And I don't know if they would have been able to talk me out of it either. But now being an adult in my own shoes, I'm like, I would have loved some different encouragement or something. But I know me too. I was very stubborn. So I don't know if they could have persuaded me. I'm hoping that something I've learned in this will help us with our kids because they're also very independent and things like that. So I'm hoping that because I was in those areas as a child, I can hopefully trick them and like encourage them in a way that, you know, it doesn't seem like I'm forcing them to do something, because that's something I want to do again, is go downhill skiing, because I know I love going down. I'm still not a big fan of heights though, so I'm not a big fan of the idea of having to go up on chair lifts and stuff like that. That kind of scares me. So stay tuned when I, check that off my bucket list, because that will be a comfort zone kind of thing. But it just shows that one moment in our lives can like really alter what we do. Yep. And it's just, if you have moments in your life where you're afraid of something, or something didn't work out, or you're scared of something, doesn't mean that was the only time it had to happen. You can do it again, like you did with skating. And if you have kids and they're having a hard time, maybe don't go at it the same day. But what would have been cool is if my parents would have taken us downhill skiing. If we would have done it as a family. Yeah. And if I could have been encouraged and in a different way, instead of a group setting with school, where it wasn't school oriented, it might have been different. Like, obviously we can't go back and change the past. It's just, if you're in those situations where you have kids that are having a hard time or things like that, I look at it in like creative ways to let them grow in that experience instead of closing it off. Yep. And maybe you don't have that kind of time, or it's even for you yourself, is finding creative ways to get past that comfort zone. Because, you don't have to let a patch of ice stop you from trying to go down the hills again. And I don't even remember. I went down a few times, like I did. But then eventually, like, I got so sick of going down the hill backwards at the top of the hill and luckily, like, my cross-country skiing skills kicked in where I'm like, I just jumped off and like went sideways up the rest of the hill. But I got annoyed with that. So I let annoyance and like people like wondering what people are thinking of me, like all that. I was a teenager, right?
Yeah,
so,
of course.
Or not
yeah.
Grade 7. So I was like still, anyways.
You're surrounded by your peers.
Yeah. Well, actually they passed me quite quickly because a lot of them already did downhill skiing a lot. So they were like bunny hill skipped like real quick. And anyways, I was there left on the slopes by myself trying to figure out how to work the bunny hill at the top of the hill. Anyway, it's just, sometimes I'm like, if I could, go to my younger self and just be like, it's okay, you'll figure it out. So if you have any area in your life where, I even encourage you today to look at your life and be like, is there something that you're doing that you think is true? Weak ankles, letting something like a silly patch of ice slow you down at the top of the slopes, like things like that. Like check in and see if there's something that's preventing you from living your fullest life, something that you keep telling yourself. And what is it? Excuses are just beliefs you keep telling yourself. Yeah. So we just use these as excuses to not live our greatest life. Like I to this day, I can still remember the feeling of going down the hill. It was a rush like no other. Yet I let that stop.
So definitely by this time next year, she will be going back down those hills with or without us.
Maybe we'll go up to Blue Mountain. That'd be fun.
We'll see. I've had my own mountain experiences, which I'm certainly willing to give skiing a shot.
You can wear a helmet.
I will definitely be wearing.
I think I want to do snowboarding actually, though.
As long as you're going down that hill and showing and tackling that thing again and dispelling those old beliefs.
The mountain also has a spa, so if it doesn't work out, we got a spa to go to.
As long as they have a daycare too.
We'll keep them with somebody else.
Oh, okay.
Grandparents or something.
We'll figure something out. But there's the thing there. Like I hadn't skated for basically no good reason for a very long time. Got on skates and it was great. So
like decades.
you can definitely do that with skiing, and our listeners can look at something in their life and go like, why am I not doing that thing? Yeah. Maybe I should try.
And now I want to just add real quickly, because it is important. If you don't like something, you don't have to go out and do it again. But it's like, though, probably that there's probably at least one thing in your life that you're like, why am I not doing it? Because I do love it. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain things.
Or I don't know.
Or, yeah. Or
like, I didn't know. I didn't know, or you don't know. I didn't know that I'd like skating. Like, I just knew that it was something I wasn't doing. It was something I would like to try doing for myself and for our family.
And then there's me that's like, I really would like to go skiing
again. At least you've got that.
Yeah. So at least I had it where I always knew I liked skiing, though. I just didn't like the up.
Right.
Because we do cross-country skiing and we go down the hills at the cottage. But there's just so much out there. But it's making sure, though, that it's something you want to do. There's like so many folds here.
Sure.
You don't want to be doing something just because somebody else wants you to do it or you've been told you have to do it. But yeah, if you have something in your life that you're not doing, but you really, deep down know that you want to do it, figure out what's stopping you. What's standing in the way between you and what you want to do. Is it a belief, an excuse that you just, like I said, is, just beliefs you keep telling yourself over and over?
Yeah. And if it is, those are definitely the kinds of things that can be dispelled or blown away so easily just by like going out there and doing it.
Yeah.
And then be like, oh yeah, all that stuff I was telling myself, there's nothing.
It's amazing. Like, everything you want is on the other side of fear. How cool is that? So you just take that leap and do it like you did with skates. And you can even break it down into baby steps like Alex did. Let's just break it down real quick. He made a decision. That was step one.
Yeah.
You made a decision. I want to skate. I want to learn how to skate. Then after, months of that, he bought skates.
Yeah. Step two. Get the equipment.
And then it was like, right. Like, and I think you even got him sharpened then. And then, I think we finally eventually, set a date to get your parents over here, so we could go skating together.
Yep.
That was that was a hard one for us, was figuring out how to do it. Because I even said, oh, call a friend and go skating. Because we didn't want to drag the kids along for the first time you tried skating.
Right.
Just because then there's so much going on. So we were trying to figure out how to make your first one, And I kept, you kept saying, oh, I'll go at night after the kids go to bed and things like that. And it just never happened. So that last step was a little tricky. And it can be when you're actually about to take the biggest action. Because that, the little steps, buying skates. Okay. A little bit of an investment.
Yeah.
The first and that last one are usually the biggest and the hardest.
Mm-hmm.
Making the decision and taking that big final leap.
And actually doing it. Yeah.
Which isn't, and it wasn't that scary, was it?
Nope.
Just put those skates on. Had fun.
Definitely a lot of fun.
I had to slow down a little, but that's okay. It was your first time in a very, very long time.
Yeah. Or possibly, if ever. I don't think I was ever that successful when I was a kid. I just stopped.
But you went around it, I don't know, we didn't count how many times, but we went around lots and lots, so.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, so today, ask yourself, what is something that you really want to do? And then figure out what's between that, standing in the way between it.
And then push through those things one at a time.
One step at, it can literally be baby steps. One little step at a time, which is cool. So for me, I got to figure out what exactly I want to do at Blue Mountain next year. We're running out of winter now, but it's fresh, though. I almost want to go now. I don't know how much longer the snow is going to be up on Blue Mountain.
Right, yeah. Well, we'll re-listen to this podcast. I'll put a pin in it and play it back to you.
Okay.
In December.
Yes, it's February. Even this year was really hard, though.
It was. But
with the ice, but anyway.
More excuses.
It is. No, I just don't want to book a trip and then have it where the slopes are closed.
Right.
That would make me a little sad.
Right.
I get expectations and then not meeting them. But I guess we'd always book another one. But yeah.
So hopefully there's some lessons, some skating lessons, i.e. some lessons learned by skating.
Yes. We hope you have a beautiful day.
Bye for now.